Hello everybody, so welcome my friends to the Code Lyoko reviews. It's been a long time coming, but I've actually, for context, like a year ago, I don't remember exactly the year, but no, somewhere in May 2021, I made a poll asking what show do you want me to make another one of these videos in which I talk about all the certain episodes of the show, my favorite characters of the show, favorite moments of the show, that sort of thing, for whatever show that I feel like at the time. And, well, let's just say at the time, some Code Lyoko fans decided to, find it and overwhelmingly picked it. And that was surprising because I don't usually get that much, turnout on Twitter poll. So, here we are, the Code Lyoko review. So, just so you know how I do this thing. So I talk about a show, in this case Code Lyoko. I talk about favorite and least favorite characters, my favorite and least favorite episodes, and my favorite and least favorite moments. And if there's anything else I need to mention of the show, then I mention that. Like for example, the first such series I did this for My Little Pony. I mentioned songs in there because, well, there's a lot of music in it. But for the rest of the shows that don't. But in this case, I'm going to add a certain addition to it. You'll see when I get there. So, okay, so how I saw this show is probably you might be wondering. So I saw this show on Netflix. So some of you may be wondering, oh, but man, why didn't you watch the YouTube channel? And don't worry, I'll get there. But for right now, that's how I watched the show through Netflix. So there might be some sort of weird inconsistencies there. There might be some trivia, it's a little trivia there that only I noticed there that may be on the wiki there, but I didn't even look at the Code Lyoko wiki until after I've seen the season. Well, not after I've seen the season. It's like there's some parts I wanted to see, but then I figured out some other things, but that's not important right now. So, what do I think of the show? So, I did watch this show when it was new. So when it was new, I ended up watching it and I ended up really loving it. But the same thing. So me returning to this show was like a huge blast from the past. So, and upon noticing, when I watched episode 1, that man, these graphics are outdated. Those just look so weird. Like, why does every character have such a massive 5-head? Like, the face is just so weird. The head shapes are so weird. And I remember on the virtual world scenes, like, man, that is so on the times. It could be better, but then again, could be better at the time? Probably not. But dang, it looked pretty good.
That one didn't age quite so well.
And it's still kind of weird, like seeing like CG, like 3D model and CG, and then all traditional animation going together like that, especially in some scenes where they're literally just like touching each other. It is kind of weird if you ask me. But I'm glad to be back on this show. It took me a long time to actually finish watching this show, not gonna lie, because I wasn't too big of a fan of the first season. Doesn't really help the fact that it's very episodic, and I get why the first season has to be episodic, just so people like who are new to the show at the time can watch any episode and not feel alienated. But honestly, I do prefer like story arcs over just random episodic episodes, especially if they have to deal with like certain things that already happened the episode before, and it's just kind of grating. So anyway, so before I start with the usual categories for this particular series, I've written down every single note that I have on each episode and each timestamp. If you want to see them, go to my Patreon. So just need to, I put as like an all Patreon thing, so just put $1 per month. You can see all the notes I've had for Code Lyoko. And if you go a bit further down, then you get to see some videos before they're released. So let's just go start with my favorite and least favorite characters for season 1. Now, okay, I'm gonna order my least favorite characters first because I kind of need context for my favorite character. Okay, so what a cool thing I find about this show is that like every character is there for a reason, like even more so than this show. That every character has a purpose, so there's no reason to love or hate certain characters because they all serve a purpose. So I feel like every character is necessary, except for these two losers. So wondering why putting these two guys, Herb and Nicholas, into the hate character section. And that's mostly because whenever they're there, they're usually not doing anything, or one of them is actually the big spotlight, and the other is just doing absolutely nothing. And I just feel like I know they're there, because they're Sissy's group, but like when they're there, it's usually one of them gets a big spotlight or none of them do. So I feel like they're like the least necessary characters for the longest time of season 1. That being said, my designated favorite character for season 1 is one Elizabeth Delmas, Sissy. I'm wondering, okay, why is she my favorite character over any of the main characters? And okay, so Sissy's the kind of character, the kind of bully character, the queen bee type of character, in which the big popular girl, just being snooty and uptight sort of thing. She just does her own thing more than everyone else, and has this massive crush on Ulrich, and will be jealous that anyone even thinks otherwise. So normally this kind of character will lead into my least favorite characters. However, there have been several points in the story. For those of you who have seen the show, you know where I'm going with this. So at some points in the show, Sissy has has done some very nice things. It shows that even though on the outside she's a queen bee, but on the inside she's very caring. That's the kind of character that deserves to be on the favorite character list, even more than the main characters. Now, speaking of the main characters, so something I should have done the entire time, should have done with this, should have done with Avatar, is that I never mentioned how much I like the main characters as the seasons go. Because especially My Little Pony, that's a kind of a big deal, because when I started this thing, I specifically went the main characters on season 1 and completely ignore them on favor of these favorite characters for later seasons, even though some characters get better and later seasons, some get worse. So with that in mind, I want to rank the main characters as the seasons go. So for my main character rankings, so because there are 5 main characters in Code Lyoko season 1, and we'll get to number 6, the 6th Ranger, if someone would call it, later. But for the 5 main characters, so I'm gonna put this in order of my favorite to least favorite of the main characters: Yumi, On, Jeremy, Aelita, Ulrich, in that order. I feel like Yumi's my favorite character out of the main characters so far because she's probably the most complete character. Because I feel like there's usually nothing wrong with Yumi personally, unlike all the others. Odd is the kind of character that he's a kind of big fun character, and he kind of more active than the others, but especially with regards to the specific missions. However, I don't like his personality. Meanwhile, Jeremy, I do like his personality. He's the smart one. He's actually the leader of the group, surprisingly enough. However, I put him in 3rd, not 2nd, because it's one episode that really brings him down a lot, and it actually did matter a lot. I'll get to him at least favorite episode. Aelita's 4th because... Wait, why I put 2? Aelita's 4th because I feel like she's not so much of a character yet. Because I feel like, Aelita is just the damsel in distress, whatever... the kind of character, the objective of the game, so to say, rather than a character in herself. And yeah, she has shown some sort of, I guess stuff, personality-wise, ish, but it's not really there yet. So that's why I put her 4th, and I'll put Ulrich below the non-character on this list because honestly, I don't like him. I straight up don't like him. I remember when Bro told me while I was watching the show, he actually likes Ulrich more than the others. I didn't tell him why. I just said, yeah, because he's the sword guy. I mean, I'm the sword guy, but But yeah, bro really likes Ulrich. I mean, he remembered liking Ulrich. I don't know if he sees the show now that he'll say he'll like Ulrich, but I don't really like him because like this guy has some baggage that like really shouldn't even be there, and he's just like the kind of character that doesn't really make sense. And again, we'll get to it. You probably know I'm going with this. For those who have seen the show, you know why Ulrich's baggage annoys me. But we'll get there. Maybe he'll be my favorite character as the seasons go. We'll see. But for right now, we'll talk about. Before I mentioned to go to the next section here, I almost forgot something. I want to make an honorable mention to Jim. Not because I'm my favorite character or hated character, because I feel like he deserves one of those two slots, but I'm not sure which. Because like Jim is the kind of character like. He's like, the very strict guy, right? Strict kind of guy, the PE teacher, that sort of thing, and does a lot of other stuff, but, like, gets really annoying. But, no, not annoying in odd sense, but kind of annoying, like, in universe. But, like, when Jim gets good, he gets really dang good. Like, especially in the final couple episodes where he's chill. That is in itself deserving favorite character status because he's chill with everything. Like, you would expect a guy like him to be chill with everything, with knowing the secret. But, when he's not, it's a different story. It's kind of like Sissy in a bit. It's like, if she knew, when she knows, then she would be, completely different character than the character I would like. But because of the nature of the show, it's really hard to, put her like this much of a favorite character. All right, then. Now we move on to my favorite and least favorite episodes. So, for favorite episode, I listed two here. One of which is mostly because they have some really interesting parts in there. Like, you'll see when I get there. First off is episode 20, The Robots. Because of the actual, that little robot competition. That is sick. Like the actual competition where, Herv's little robot, the Iron Sissy, more like the Iron Sussy.
Among Us! You can't be serious!
And then the Kiwi 2 thing. It was actually, that whole basketball thing, that was pretty sick. Like, you'd think that, with competitions like, robot competition, you'd expect them to, fight to whatever breaks first. Like, actual, robot competitions, that sort of thing. But no, it's basketball, and actually what ended up being kind of hype, not gonna lie. Like, I would see an episode just that, without going to time skips or thing. That was actually kind of hype, not gonna lie. So, and of course, the actual robot, the actual real robot in there was actually kind of sick, too. So, not gonna lie, it was actually pretty, pretty cool, not gonna lie, of this show. And then for the second favorite episode here, I would put Routine, which is episode 22. Again, mostly because I think trying to actually make an Ulrich episode work, and I feel like it works. But however, I do like the episode. I do think the episode is good. It's just that Ulrich being the main character in this, and it kind of exemplifies the kind of character he is. Yeah. But at least they made Yumi cool, so at least like Yumi cool, Jeremy cool, that sort of thing. Heck, even Odd cool because or whatever. However, just because making my least favorite main character down and making everyone else good makes a favorite episode, let's try to get them actually that character goes down a lot, but makes everyone else, really good. My least favorite episode is episode 10, The Girl of My Dreams. Or is it The Girl of the Dreams? Okay, so let's go stop right here. I'm going to talk about the title of this thing. For those who do not know, for those who know, you already know where I'm going with this. For those who do not know, okay, so apparently the episode title, when actually watching the show in English, is named The Girl of the Dreams. But I found out, because I was watching through Netflix, and it turns out that every other media sort of thing that mentions this episode calls it The Girl of My Dreams. I feel like the latter makes more sense as a title name. to be honest, I feel like the actual show is the mistitle, and like the the YouTube channel, the Amazon, the iTunes, the third thing had a thing corrected, but that was like afterwards, after the show ends, that sort of thing. And that is how I found out about the YouTube channel, because I was watching it through Netflix. I was trying to write the notes for this video. And then I looked at this episode, I looked at the trivia of this episode, and I found it was a YouTube channel, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was watching the whole thing on Netflix, trying to find all of these timestamps, because Netflix is kind of terrible at finding out the actual timestamps of that sort of thing, because Netflix, for those who don't know, on this side of the show, when you watch a thing on Netflix, shows you how much time is left, but not the actual timestamp itself. Which kind of bothers me, because I wanted to actually make timestamps for all my notes to go to Patreon, and so some of it were probably timed wrong. But point of that episode, though, so for those who don't understand, like that episode, apparently in that episode, someone who just so happens to look at Aelita shows up in the real world, but it's like instead of like the pink Aelita we know, it's just like more like a slightly darker red. It's still pink, but like it's more like a red thing. Point is, Jeremy, the smart guy he is, jumps into the conclusion that no, that is Aelita, 100%. I did the de-ritualization. She's gone to life right here in the world. I just didn't notice it until now. And everybody else had their doubts. But you would think the smart person would, check his work before actually, jumping to that conclusion. You would think that someone as smart as Jeremy would, check first before, being horny on main is like, it's a massive priority to him in that episode, which I feel like doesn't make any sense. So I actually like Jeremy compared to the other characters. I mean, granted, I like Yumi more, but Yumi's like already pretty a good character without that episode. But, like, granted, it makes all the other characters smarter, makes all the other characters better, but the cost of a character I actually like, and the character just doesn't make any sense. It's like, they have to, like, subvert your expectations,
Turn off your bonobo brain!
In order to, like this episode, and it sure as heck turned out Jeremy's. But, like, yeah. Not a big fan of that episode. Not a big fan of, bringing down Jeremy like that. He's cool. You don't have to, like, turn him stupid in order to, make everyone else good. Anyway. My least favorite moments. Okay, so, while I was, watching the show, looking at timestamp, putting notes, I saw some interesting no-context clips. So you know what I mean, right? You can probably put whatever text you want up, and then down is your no context clip. Hold on, my camera's like this, like here, right? Yeah, but I purposely put my face like this. So anyway, but I'm not gonna put. I probably don't need to put them here, but I probably might future if you want to put some memes in there, do it now.
You're coming with us.
Whoa!
So this is a line from Sissy in episode 3. When Jim was figured out that Jeremy's coming to go rescue him and Sissy while they're in a closet when some evil gas, wants to terrorize the school. Sissy says the following.
It's nice to know that the closest thing to Bruce Willis is coming to the rescue.
That's hilarious. Like, it's probably the first time in the show that I actually legitimately laughed at a line like that. But a few other things I want to mention here on my favorite moments section. How about this in episode 14? Now this is the reason. This part of episode 14 is the reason why Sissy's my favorite character. Here's why. I hope that I don't get copyright clean for this.
Don't move. Wait. There. Okay.
Thank you. You're a real good nurse.
I'm not just somebody who sticks to you like glue, huh?
Yeah, she can be very caring at times. Like, And this is not the only time this happens, but like it does happen every so often when things get tough. So again, certain character that nobody likes on the outside, certain character that I personally like on the inside. That's the kind of character I like. So even if you have to endure the hard part of it. But so this next part is from episode 18. So in episode 18, near the beginning of the episode, where Ulrich got tired of hearing odds like bad music, he decided to go with Jeremy, just to sleep with Jeremy in Jeremy's room. So Ulrich says this line.
Oh, Alita, you're in my dreams. I can't wait until...
Says the guy with a massive crush on Yumi. That is so obvious to everyone except for him. Hypocrisy, my dude. What the heck? But again, I find it a funny scene because it's coming from this guy. It's coming from the guy who's like even more just as obvious with his ship, with his preferred ship. Okay, so next one from episode 22. So this part in episode 22. So this is one of my favorite parts in season 1 that shows why Jeremy's cool. Like despite being the smart guy of the group, he's also the leader of the team, and this is why.
Send Ulrich, Jeremy. He needs to be entertained. He'd love to go to Lyoko.
Ladies first, get her out of our hair.
Look, I'm getting tired of all this quarreling. Alita needs us, and that is what I call an emergency. So head for the scanners. All 3 of you are going.
Especially considering, if you know the context from that scene, the context is that, Ulrich and Yumi aren't exactly on good terms at the moment, mostly because Ulrich is refusing to tell Yumi about his prior friendship with another girl, talking to another girl, and everyone's just assuming that he's dating her because, Sissy decided to tell Yumi, oh, they've been at it for 2 months, even though just at it for like a day. Like not even a day, just that day. But yeah, but the point is, Jeremy's being the big leader moment, that they call it. So last thing I wanted to mention, this is short, this is very short, and it could apply for the no context clip, but I feel like this doesn't need context. It's a goddamn Koichi pose. It's a goddamn Koichi pose.
Coincidence? I think not!
That is cool. When I saw that episode, and this show came out 2003, 2004, right? And this came before, the main anime series where Diamonds Unbreakable. But again, because it's 2003, 2004, it came out after Diamonds Unbreakable, the manga. So it is entirely possible that this is indeed a JoJo reference. A JoJo reference in Lyoko. Oh my goodness. That rocks right here. I don't know if the animators intended to be a thing, if it's even a Koichi pose. For me, it looks like a Koichi pose, so it's a Koichi pose. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so what I don't like about the show, so before I'm talking about the big thing, let's talk about a very small thing. So this only applies to the English version. I don't know if it applies to any other language, but in episode 4, so this is part. So when I was making the notes for this, I actually had to look up the actual French original for this, and that's entirely because when Ulrich and I are in the uncontrollable bus controlled by Xana, the Jeremy was saying,
Where are you?
At the corner of Washington Street and Franklin Avenue.
Washington Street and Franklin Avenue? Did the localizer really wanted to put it in the U.S.? Despite the show very clearly taking place in France? I mean, granted, it's episode 4, but if you're going to, make it, even if the English, dubbers are going to, localize it correctly, at least probably notice, another episode literally shows France, the actual map of France. So, there's no way that they're going to, mess it up, going to call it, traditional U.S., street names in France. Nah, man, I actually looked up in the French original, and no, it ain't the same thing. It's like usually like French names. I did not bother to check where exactly do these street names are, because that's not important. What's important is that in English, it's implied that they're in the U.S., even though they're not. Speaking of like, more English versus French things, like about an episode like 14 onwards, there's some different transitions that showed up from the originals, few episodes to the next few episodes of season 1, and it showed like the names of every character. And Jeremy specifically, it's always referred to. I don't know if it's on the YouTube channel, but it is on Netflix. It shows the French spelling of Jeremy's name. However, for the purposes of this, even though it doesn't really matter for this, because I'm only showing images, that I always in my notes refer to Jeremy by his English name, English spelling of his name. But just want to let you know there, like, I don't really care how his name is actually spelled. All I care is how it's pronounced. Because if I'm going to show images, like, why bother? Why bother caring about how it's spelled in this kind of video? But okay, the actual, like, very annoying bits of the show. So when I first saw this part near the end of the first episode, was it like near the middle-ish of the first episode? I got reminded of something that really, like, it's one of those it coming back to me, like, from when I first watched that show. And yeah, I like when I remember about the show, I was like, oh right, Ulrich and Yumi's goddamn relationship. I forgot about that. Now it's coming back to me. Those two don't get together because the show doesn't freaking you know what I'm this. It's just like, are you kidding me with this goddamn show in which the two characters that are clearly a thing don't actually, talk about their feelings and sort of thing, even though Yumi tries at one point, but like, Ulrich is so, he's not dense. He's not dense. He's just unwilling to talk about what he feels. Apparently, like, there's a part in a different episode that he doesn't think that Yumi's actually into him. It clearly are. Like, Odd Figure notices it. Jeremy notices it. Lita notices it. Yuma definitely notices it. I mean, she's part of it. Discord, come on. Yeah. Like, the only character who's not aware of the relationship is himself. And it's not because of being dense. It's just like, he is, like, not the kind of person who just, talks about his feelings at all. And it's really annoying. Like, if you look at a different, I look at a different episode, look at this episode 22 mark, which is actually kind of awesome. So remember I just said about Yumi being aware of it because of course she's part of it?
I'm Ulrich's girlfriend. I'm his good friend.
She is so a part of it that she, accidentally admitted that she is his girlfriend, even though Ulrich doesn't think so. Because he doesn't think. And people it's... Yeah, I just found when I looked the notes for that, I was like, yo, she actually admitted it! Heck yeah! That's sort of actually what I actually wrote in that. The point is that yeah, I was actually legitimately surprised that Yumi actually said it. Let's see here. Where was the episode from? I think it was 22, right? Oh yeah, this is what I said specifically. Oh, hello! Yumi called this his girlfriend's friend and Jeremy Odd. That's exactly what I wrote in that. Again, if you want to actually see or read all of the notes I've had, go to Patreon. Just take $1 off, and then you can see everything from season 1. If you want to stick around, have your name in the intro, go 20. But yeah, point is that that relationship is really goddamn annoying. So that is it for season 1 of Code Lyoko, and it's kind of funny. Again, for those who are looking at my Patreon, I've actually, you can probably tell how much I've been enjoying the series more as time goes on by the actual posts I put there. Because the first post I put with this show is on only the first 2 episodes, and the second one's only up to episode 6. However, when it gets to the third one, it goes all the way from 7 to 13, and then from 14 to 20, and then from 21 to 26. It's actually kind of insane. Actually, did I even post the one for 14 to 20? I think I'm pretty sure I have. I just don't see it. Point is, yeah, so I won't be surprised if in season 2, when the story start coming in, that I might watch the actual season in one go, like I have been with this. Because I remember I did remember seeing all of season 2 in one go of My Little Pony. So I might do so again, but maybe not, because I'm actually quite busy with stuff that completely unrelated to me. So that's not important right now. What is important is that I'm glad I'm going to watching this show again, and now I'm glad I have a reason, not a reason to watch it. I have a way to watch it, because I now have the YouTube option. Because Netflix only goes up to season 4. Was it go to season 4 or season 3? But the point is, it doesn't have the 2-part origin story, nor does it have evolutions. Now the question is, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch Evolution. But because I'm not actually used to Evolution, and if I'm looking at the thumbnails of the YouTube channel, I'm not sure if I can enjoy it. What is that? I'm not gonna show it. For those, if you want to know about it, go to the Lyoko YouTube channel, if you know what I mean. But it's more of a, did they seriously just do that? So, for the purposes of this review series, I'm only gonna go up to episode 4. Episode 4. I'm gonna go up to season 4 and the 2-part origins, the origin episodes. That's it. That's all I'm gonna go with Lyoko. I could go Evolution afterwards, but I won't prioritize watching that over the main show, because I originally wanted to just do Lyoko. I didn't even knew about Evolution until in the middle of watching the show. So they're not going to be counted for this series, but they might be soon enough. Maybe have some more demand for me to watch Evolution on YouTube. So for those who've seen Lyoko, I have a question for you before we end off. Would you prefer me to watch the show on the YouTubes or on the Netflixes? Because the pros of going Netflix is that I could actually, if I found something weird, I could look at the French original. Even though I only know 2 languages, English and Spanish. So even though I only know Spanish, at least I know French. French sucks, not gonna lie, but don't at me. But yeah, I only know Spanish as my other language. But I use that information to figure out some inconsistencies that I found. But you want to watch that or the YouTube? I believe I'm not mistaken. The YouTube has it at the original resolution. I don't know. I've not checked. I've not looked at anything yet. All I know is the thumbnails. So that's just a question for those who know about the show. Is it preferable if you want to watch it through Netflix or through YouTube? Either way, if you watch all the way through the end, thank you for watching this long thing to season 1. Hopefully, I don't stumble on my words as much going into the later seasons. But for right now, see you guys later for the next season coming in, I don't know, a few weeks or so.